What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Hey, it's James Hollingsworth, and I'm back again today. Can you believe that? Two shows the same day. James Hollingsworth, the Working People's Podcast. You know, this is the place where everybody desires to build generational wealth and a financial legacy for their family. If you're over there on YouTube, would you do us a favor? Press that subscribe button. Come on, let's get those subscriptions going up, and away. Press the thumbs up like button over there also while you're there, and drop some comments below, as well as ring that notification bell, ding, 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 because you will get notified when we upload new videos and stuff like that. And also, we're right here on the Working People's Podcast Facebook page streaming live, and we're also right here on my personal Facebook page streaming live. And guess who's back, baby? Carolyn, it's been a minute, so you might have to reintroduce yourself, if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all. I try to do whatever y'all tell me to do. Anyway, as they say, my name is Carolyn Witcher. Hello, everybody on the Working People's Podcast. Yeah. Whether you're streaming from Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or all these other different social media sites that they have. I don't know if they do TikTok. I think TikTok is only a minute. I'm not really for sure. But and Twitter. And Twitter. Wherever you are looking at us from or listening to us from, we welcome you. And if you have a job, you are a working person. So you're part of the working people. And this podcast is strictly for you. Unless you're looking to get a job. Like my
so y'all
get another job.
So y'all know what y'all need to do. You need to press that thumbs up like button. Yeah. Press that heart for Carolyn. Carolyn say she keep coming back if y'all keep showing the hearts.
Yes, if you press the hearts for a sister. That's what love is. Ain't that what where you love is? That's what that's what's going on.
As we speak, I am tagging you in the video, Sister Carolyn.
Okay, wonderful.
I gotta make sure I spell your name with the correct letters of the alphabet.
Oh, gee. At work, I just say me, and they're like, "Oh Lord, me."
So, Carolyn, everybody trusts me so much right now that everybody's like, they don't even want to know what the topic is.
Okay.
They're like, whatever you decide to start talking about, I'm just here for it. I'm here for it. So Carolyn don't even know unless she's went on Facebook and looked to even see what the title is. So the title, Sister Carolyn, my dear friend, is 50-50 relationships.
50-50 relationships. Okay.
And I need a qualified, capable person such as yourself.
Okay.
To educate the brothers, because let me tell you right off the top, I'm just going to get it out the way. You're probably going to hear me say, I feel like a lot tonight.
Okay.
Because, normally I'm always about statistics, data, the proper analysis, going all of that. But I'm going to be talking about I feel like tonight. And one of the things I feel like tonight
is,
or let me say for the gentleman that may be watching, I think, is that I don't think that men have done a very substantial job over the last 50 years, give or take, in adapting to our present climate of dating, courting, just going through the process of getting to marriage, and just really, really adapting to what women really want, what they need, what they're asking from men or asking of men. I really don't feel like men in general, so y'all dudes don't start throwing eggs at me yet, have really adapted well to women's requests and their needs and their wants and things. Because I really think over the last 50 years, because I think to a lot of degree, men are still kind of stuck in the pre-65, pre-60, 1954, days where it was like, hey, just go to work, bring your check home, provide for your family, and that's it.
Well,
I know that's a lot, right? And I put you on the spot when I bring that up, because I really want you as a woman to really have this moment to speak on behalf of women, to really not set the record straight, but really tell men. Well, let me back up one step first before I say that.
You might have to take 2 steps back, but go ahead.
I also think and feel like that to a certain degree, I don't know how well women have necessarily expressed what their desires are. And I'll give you an example of that, right? And this is one of those statements that sets the whole internet on fire. I don't need a man. or they'll say, I want somebody to let them know that I want them, because needy, it makes it seem like, this, that, and the other, you can't do without, blah, blah, blah. And here's the thing. Men have to feel like they're needed. And I'm going to explain that and tell you why. I'm not saying that men want to feel like you are dependent on us, because that feels like having another child or a dog or something that you have to, that you have to take care of, that can't do nothing for itself. That's not how we think of it as men. But as men, when we hear that you don't need us, men, we are inherently programmed in our DNA, generally speaking, that we want to feel like we're needed.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But one of the problems is, because so many men have been raised in single parent homes, and there's a special bond that men typically have with their mothers and the women in their families that raise them, that nurture them, and this, especially as black men, to a great degree now we see where it's like a lot of men still seem to be like that in relationships, where they haven't necessarily, this is my feelings again, my perspective, haven't necessarily really understood that times have changed, right? It's not like it used to be, where the bulk of men were provider males and the bulk of women were stay-at-home mothers, right? There are women that have careers, viable careers, and successful jobs and things that they are doing, and women are pursuing their passions, and women are pursuing their purpose like we've never seen before. And I think that's a great thing. I wouldn't want to see it any other way. However, once again, and I don't mean to go on this long discourse, but I think that men, to a great degree, we haven't really adapted to that. And now we hear a lot about men. They don't necessarily say this, but I think to a great degree, a lot of men don't feel like they're meeting the standards or the requirements of women, especially as it pertains to finances. That was a lot, Carolyn. A lot that I dropped on you.
Out, and then you had to bring me back or put me back on pace. But the first thing, of course, you were saying about 50-50 relationships. 50-50, and I know over the years we've termed it as human beings, when it's literally supposed to be I got all, you got all, 100, and now some people say, well, if I'm giving 100, you need to give 110 or something. But I'm not asking, for 110, because then that's more than what you can actually give. So as far as
so let me be real quick, because I don't think I was.
Okay.
I think two people should be talking about a marriage. We're talking about two people coming into it. They're whole. They've been healed. So in that regard, there's 100% of me coming and 100% of you coming.
Okay.
So when I'm talking about 50-50, I'm strictly talking about one of the biggest areas of contention right now in male-female relationships, and that's with the money.
Okay.
And splitting the cost of living or the daily requirements for this relationship to function properly, splitting them down the middle 50-50. And with that in mind, that's why I say I don't think men have necessarily adapted well to the current environment of women being in the workforce like we've never seen before, with viable careers, jobs, where they've gotten their education, where they are able to build a certain lifestyle for themselves before they enter into a necessarily long-term relationship, especially marriage. So now if a brother comes along and he's talking about wanting to be 50-50, but financially and socioeconomically she's up here and he's right here, that 50-50 is going to be a struggle, because brothers, I just have a problem when it seems like they're asking women to adjust their lifestyle down to meet them where they are when it comes to finances. Especially if you've been taking care of yourself, you're doing well for yourself, and you've gotten accustomed to a certain lifestyle that you're providing for yourself. I don't necessarily think is adequate or fair to ask a woman to adjust her lifestyle downward per se.
Well, yeah, but what if it's not adjusting her lifestyle down? Maybe, we don't know what type of spending habits he has or she has and so forth. But when you come together, you're bringing everything that you have to the table.
I hope so.
Yeah, you got a whole pie, and some people start off, when they have a relationship or when they get serious in a relationship, they'll say, well, because what if she is making more than he is? What if he is? Then look, the bill still got to get paid. What can you bring? It might be 50% of what he has. So if he's giving 50% of what he earns, and she gives 50% of what she earns, and they put it in that pot to make that pie, we gonna pull the bills out of that. The other 50% after we pay our tithes and stuff like that, she put that in the account, or he put whatever he or what have you.
Yeah.
Or, so I mean, still, when I'm thinking, I may not be saying this correctly in answering to what you have, but if he brings 50% of what he has and she brings 50% of what he has, and they put that in the same pot, that should be able to cover everything that's going on with the with bills and things like that. And the other 50% you can use as far as your lifestyle is concerned, whether you want to go to the Caribbean or go out with your girls or dress the way, proud and stuff like that. But he and she, they already know these things before they actually get in this relationship. So either they're going to succumb to what is going to be required of them in the relationship, or they're not. You got to talk about it, because most of the time men have always been the breadwinner.
Yeah.
So what does she expect of him? When they come into a relationship, what if she doesn't work? What if she has no income at all? So then, she's looking for him to provide, because she's providing for the household, and that's a whole nother issue as well. She's providing for the household. And that's a job by itself. What if it's a blended family? Now I could almost see if you guys are starting fresh, you're in your 20s, and she's already a certain level at her job, he's already a certain level at his job, but we're not trying to look at the levels. I know we're trying to look at the income, but so if you make 80,000 and she make 100,000, I mean the till is not that far different.
But that's not that far.
Give what you have. Give your half, and she give her half to put in the pot, and that's it. What she do with the balance, or what he do with his balance, is on them. But you still want to be able to make the household run, because that's the whole thing. When money ain't right, things is tight, and then that starts all the emotions going on in the household. So, what if something happens where she loses her status as that $100,000, and he is still making 80? It's a whole lot to this, Brother James, to where some of it is explainable and some of it is unexplainable. But if you come into the relationship, especially as far as them coins, as the young people say, them coins, you bring your coins, your part of the coins, she bring her part of the coins, and to make the household run. Because you never know what's going to happen 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. And if we think about 2022 economy, I'm trying to, after post-COVID, I'm trying to figure out what is going on, because a lot of people have lost their jobs, and some people just don't want to work at all. So it's
Yep.
so if you've already been in this relationship where he's half and she's half, and you are just still, hopefully you'll be able to come through some of this financially as far as taking care of a home, and then you both make the decisions on how the money is being spent.
Yeah.
On, especially the needs of the household, the needs of, groceries, utilities, car notes, investments, all of these things.
Yes.
Then if he's the one that's better with money, let him be better with the money. If she's better with money, let her be better with the money. But me myself, I don't think it's this is just me. This is just me, because I can't speak for all the women. If I'm bringing my half and I got my half in there and he got his half, and we're maintaining that half together as a whole, it may not take all 100% of that pie that we've already invested in order for the household to run. Now, what if he's a billionaire and she's just, the pretty woman? Remember Pretty Woman, the movie?
Yeah, I remember that.
What if she's just that? What if she has absolutely nothing but the clothes on her back? And then they get married and things of that sort. If she decides to get a job or work for his company or whatever she decides to do, her 50-50, whether she has zero or whether she starts maintaining some type of financial, stability in order to go into that pot or into that pie, that they'll be able to maintain the home. But somebody got to, sometimes, even though it's financial, sometimes you got to kind of, because he's a millionaire doesn't mean he's know how to control money or finances of the home either.
Yeah.
But it's so many different tactics, and I'll put it like this, so many different avenues to this as far as finances is concerned, because especially in a relationship, in a marriage. If we just cohabitating together, if we're in a marriage, or if we're girlfriend and boyfriend, but we're in the same household trying to split the bills or what have you.
Right.
So many different things that can go to that, and I don't want to make it an anxiety thing. I don't want that to be part of my fear. I wonder if consumers going to get paid and we're going to be in the cold and stuff like that. But where's all that 50-50 you've been putting into the pot?
But I mean, security is important though for women.
It is.
Now, when I say security, it's the financial part too, but it's also the protection aspect. It's the part of the relationship, I would say, that would also go to the emotional security. One thing that you said though that had me kind of like, I have officially appointed you though at this particular moment in time as the spokesperson for all women. So when you said I can't speak for all women, but you're the only one here. You're the only one here.
Now I do want y'all to push the like button, and I want y'all to comment, because a lot of you may have some, flags about what I said, which is fine. I want that, still, it's still the person that you get with this emotional. It's the whole emotional thing first. Is she good with money? And I just testify. I lived in a household of a huge family. My father it was 9 of us. I'm the oldest of 9, and yes, two-parent household. But my mom didn't work. She couldn't. Who gonna work? Who gonna keep on 9?
Yeah.
They tried. But my dad would work 2 and 3 jobs. He wasn't a GM parent. He wasn't, what I'm saying? He didn't work in a shop. He worked as a cab driver. I remember we was little, Taco Bell, cab driver, Kentucky Fried Chicken, to bring money into the household. Now, of course, all 9 kids wasn't there at that particular time.
Right.
It was 2, and then when it came 3, then when it came 4. And I know when it was like 5 kids in the household, he had literally 3 jobs. He had 2 part-time jobs and a full-time job in order to take it. Yes. We barely saw him. You know what I'm saying? So, and then as we got older, he did have 1 good paying job, but my mother was not good with money.
Oh.
At all. At all. He worked, so he really wasn't there. But she wasn't, as my daddy would say, God rest his soul, because my dad was married a few times. One of his wives, he's just said, her and money ain't friends. He said, I don't understand it. I make it, she spend it, but it's not spent on what it's supposed to be spent on. So, see, like I said, even coming into a relationship, you got to have that talk. I know she might be fine as a dime. I don't know if they still say dime or whatever. Fine as wine. But however, she might be 36, 24, 36. But you should have some brains. You have brains to be able to operate a household. Because really, if you marrying her for looks, you know that's how you're gonna take care of her. You're gonna be the breadwinner. She's gonna be the spender. Okay. So and I've seen for years how mismanagement of money tears up a household or
tear it up.
And it got to the point my father would say it's cheaper to keep her, but then after a while he found out it wasn't cheaper to keep her. Now when you got 9 kids.
Oh.
So with all that being said, of course they ended up in divorce, and he had to pay that alimony and child support.
Ouch.
It wasn't cheaper to keep her.
Oh, ouch.
Because as you said, she had to be able to maintain that lifestyle that she had while they were
together, married.
That was wife number 1, and wife number 2, and wife number 3. Okay.
Holy cow.
Yeah, holy cow. But he made it work. And I remember, and I'm only speaking from what I know as a woman, from what I seen my father go through. It got to a point after the 3rd divorce, he would, when he would approach women, he said, I don't have no money, but I got good credit. He said, my credit is excellent. I could buy a whole house on my credit. Okay. So the as far as finances and being 50-50, my mom raised 9 kids. She did her 50 because 9 kids. The second wife, there was a little bit more to it than that. She did work. I have to say that she did work. And the third wife,
she'd have to, because by the time he got to the second wife and then maybe then the third, I would say she probably would have to work at that point, because like you say, he ain't had no money, but he got good credit.
Yeah. So I mean, nothing went lacked. I have to say that nothing went lacked. Each of the women, they lived a good lifestyle. As my cousin Dolphine would say, they came on to come up. They still came up from where they were. So emotionally, financially, they intertwined together.
Yeah.
I remember when my husband, rest his soul, I had 2 jobs. He had 2 jobs because he had a certain lifestyle that was way more than what I'm just
probably accustomed to.
I don't have to have Prada. I don't have to have Gucci. I don't have to have rings on, on my fingers, stuff like that. And so I was the one that managed the money. He just threw the money away. So it's like, I can't live like this. So I just told him flat out, you have 2 jobs, I have 2 jobs, and we have 4 kids.
We gotta make this work.
So we gotta make this work some kind of way as far as the finances in the household. So nothing ever went lacked because I wasn't going to allow it to. Even if he spent all his 50 and his 50 didn't come to the pot, I made sure my 50 was in the pot, because I'm thinking I have 4 kids to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
I have, they have to have clothes, they have to have food, so all that, the mentality has to come with it as well, emotionally, financially, mental state of mind. I don't have to travel every month out of state. I don't have to get the finest of hotels to go places, stuff like that. Why? Because I still have to think about home. So that's, for me, that's the whole conglomerate of being, if you have a 2-person household, if you give your 50, I give my 50, no matter what if your $2, my $2, and we pay the bills from that, then what you do with the rest is different. But when it's just one person contributing to that household, and you're not even contributing in a emotional or a mental state, that hurts. That's when, what they call it, irreconcilable differences. Yeah, we can't do. We cannot reconcile this because, it's nothing there to reconcile as far as
we can't come to an agreement and
Nope.
something.
And
Yeah,
then that's when the love is lost as well. A lot of my emotions is going out the door with your dollars, with your mismanagement of a household. So back in the day, when you start talking about the 50s and the 60s, stuff like that, most men still were the breadwinner of the household.
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Not that we don't need
Yeah.
a man. We do need you. We really do.
Yeah.
We have gotten so conditioned over the years, and as I call her Mrs. Leaks, as she would say, the Claudine theory. A lot of that was going on so much because that was a government conspiracy all along. We just like it's government conspiracies going on now, breaking up homes, and we care less to see it because we say, oh, we'll make it. Trust God. Yeah, but have some common sense too. I'm trusting him, but I have to have some common sense too, because this post-COVID, I see so much just riding through the city. This business closed, that business closed. People losing their houses because they didn't pay taxes through COVID, and now it's time to come with the money.
Yeah, and they want it all. They ain't asking the states for sure. The state is like, we want our money. Yeah. We don't care if it's $200. We want our money.
We want our money. So it's so much. Where's the 50-50 now? The divorce rate is really at an astronomical high. Or if they're not divorcing, they're just leaving each other.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a lot. It's a lot, going on. So when I think about the 50-50, it's theory. Yeah. Whether he make 1,000 and I make 500, I put my 250 in the pot. He put his 500 in the pot. We figure it out from there. We have to make it. We're gonna have to make it work. And then if my 250 ain't working, I'm gonna have to give all of my 500, so that it'll work.
Well, let me just say and once again, generally speaking. So since it's just me and you here, I guess in a way you can say, well, I'm speaking for the generalizations of the mind of the man, right? The generalization. So the brothers, a lot of men are coming saying, the reason why you hearing this from a lot of men saying that they want this 50-50 relationship, which was like you said, unheard of back in the 50s, 60s, early mid 60s. That was unheard of. A man ain't gonna be like 50-50. For a man back then, the woman's money was no good. When I say no good, I mean he paid the bills.
Yeah.
He made sure that everything that was needed for the house was taken care of. And whatever money that she may have earned through part-time work or whatever the case may be, she was pretty much free just to do what she needed to do for the children, for herself, if she wanted to do something else extra for the house, whatever the case may be. But now the guys are coming saying, 50-50 relationship. So I'm just going to tell you where it's coming from in the mind of men, typically when they're kind of saying this. Okay. Because number one, they don't want you to be dependent upon them. And women are saying the same thing. I don't want to be dependent upon a man, right?
But why wouldn't he want me to be dependent upon him if he going to be my man? I don't
Well, here's where I'm coming from with that. Because women are saying, I don't want to be dependent upon a man, so if this relationship don't work out, I still want to be able to take care of myself, right? So it's not that, and I'm not saying that that's right, but this is where the mindset is coming from when they saying they don't want her dependent upon him, meaning that they don't want her leaning on him and just all she wants is just give me. In their mind, they're saying they want her to be able to be self-sufficient.
Okay.
If I can say it that way. Now, when they're saying that too, they're not saying, I think in a way, because I think a lot of it's just miscommunication. I think in a lot of it, men are saying, they're not saying this verbatim like I'm about to say it, but in a way they are. But this is what in the mind.
Okay.
I can't come up to the requirements financially that she is looking for or expecting. Therefore,
I mean, so that's bad from the start. If you know she's a red bottom walking sister, okay, and
well, it's not even necessarily whereas a certain type of woman per se. It's just that now when men are hearing through a man's filter, through their filter, what women are requiring based on how they're expressing it, in their mind, they're saying, well, a lot of men feel like that women nowadays, they want a 6-figure man. And that's just not the average income of especially a black man, right? So they're already feeling like they can't meet the financial requirements. So therefore, in a man's mind, as crazy it may sound like and seem, they're saying, well, we're going to do this 50-50. And then we can just, it should be no problems, right? They should be no problem. We're going to do this 50-50. I'll bring my 50%. She bring her 50%. And we just make this work, right? So do she have to make a certain amount of money? Well, no. I mean, they really put much thought in it. They just say, well, no, But if we got this 50-50 relationship, then it takes some of the pressure off me. I'm just saying, this is how the modern day man is thinking. As crazy as it may sound, take some of the pressure off me, and she can help to be responsible for some of these bills around here, right? Carolyn, like, that makes no sense. But you got to remember that the modern day man versus the traditional minded man from, that's still maybe thinking like the guys from the early days thinking.
From the hood.
They don't necessarily think like that. But a lot of the modern day men, it's hard to meet some of the requirements, financial requirements sometimes that women are saying that they want, especially now that you have career women that are in the workforce like we've never seen before, actually contributed to the GDP of the United States, to gross domestic product.
Yes.
Women are they making it happen in the workforce. And so that's why I said in the very, very beginning, I think that to a great degree, a lot of men, we haven't really adapted well to the modern day new times. And if you got a woman out here and she's working and she's earning $80,000 a year, you know what I'm saying, and you still on the $40,000, she may say, well, yeah, we can make this work. But she's still going to be looking at you like,
where's your part?
Waiting to see where your drive and your ambition or something going to kick in so you can bring that number up a little bit.
And I believe it's going to be both that way, both. It's going to, I could almost see it if you.
Well, actually, no. Not typically with the average guy. No, that kind of guy right there, because they trying to feel like they want to come up to meet the standards, right? Mm-hmm. But then you got traditional minded men like such as myself. Your money is invalid to me. When I say invalid, it's because I understand I am going to be a provider.
But then that's where it is. We're either going to provide or we're going to try to figure out how to come up. I am getting kind of around. Whether she's 100 and he's 80 or 40 or whatever it is, and we're supposed to be in this 50-50, which is it going to be? You're either going to be the head of the household with your 40, and I just add because really when I add my 40 and you add your 80, that's 120. Hello, that's all.
Well, I mean, if you look at it like that, but the math still comes out 100%, because if you got the guy and he's like, say he's bringing a certain percentage, right? She's bringing a certain percentage of her income, then, typically, from what I've noticed, women do want the men to bring the bulk of the percentage of the family load.
But she knew that before she got with him.
True that. Okay. At least I hope she did do her due diligence.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah, but I know it's some. I don't know if they use the term fakers, but it's still some fakers.
It is. That's why I said that, because I know sometimes.
Doctor, and I make $100,000. And you leave here every day to go to a job and you really ain't got it. And you say, babe, I need to borrow $100. How you going to borrow $100?
Yeah.
How you going to, what? I've seen things in my years.
That's funny. I hope that most women or more women start doing their due diligence, because I can tell many times I've asked, like, well, she'll be like, well, he got money, he make money, he got money, and then you ask her, well, what does he do? Like, are you sure he got money, or is that a rental car he got?
Acres, exactly.
Right.
Car. I've seen this. They're leasing the car. They're leasing the apartment.
Yeah.
But the other woman paying for it. You didn't know?
Yeah. For real.
Yeah.
Okay. That's for real though.
So it's nothing 50 of the mentality. I've seen women take care of men where the men don't work.
Yeah.
That's this astronomical growing thing where
it's growing astronomical.
And it's been that way for some years.
Yeah.
And she don't want him to leave the house because another woman might see him, or she might want him, and she might clean him up and make him the billionaire that she saw or whatever, and all this kind of stuff. And I've seen so much. I've experienced so much, and I watch so much. And I don't mean watch like watching television, because I'm not a television watcher, but I watch the real life that unfolds before me, whether it's family, friends, church people, whatever. I see a lot unfold over the years. And then I sit up there and I do like this. My guard is up, because it's like, oh my God.
Is that how it is out here nowadays? Right.
Okay. Did you say for real?
And that's another reason why I kind of said up front too, is how men just in a great degree have it adapted, because now from so many single parent homes that we've had over the last, say, 50 plus, give or take, years, and so many men and boys have been raised by single mothers and single parents. It's a whole population of men out here that's still wanting a woman like their mother to basically take care of them. And so you don't see that drive in them. You don't see that ambition in them. You don't see that go get it in them. You know what I'm saying? And so that's when I brought up also about 50-50 when I'm talking about the financial aspect relationships, because when you have where it seems like so many men are falling behind when it comes to providing the resources, the whole 50-50, then it becomes like, well, in order to even make this relationship kind of even make sure we're going to make it work, is we got to both of us bring 50% of equal. Mm-hmm. And so who really is leading the home?
It's still discombobulated. Because the thing about it is, if it's just her and him, no children, I could almost see it. But when you have someone else involved in this,
right?
And then I've seen where it had, now I'm just kind of changing little gears here, where it is just a man and just a woman with no children involved, but then it's what they have left behind. Because say if you lived at home with your parents, I've seen, I'm not making this up,
I know you ain't making it up,
wife take care of her family, her parents, with the money that's supposed to be 50-50, going toward the 50-50 pie.
Yeah.
She's taking care of her family, or he's taking care of his family that they left behind. So it's not like I said, is it a girlfriend, boyfriend? Is it just we're cohabitating? Are we married? What is going on with all the different avenues to where I feel that, or my wife feel that when she left home, that she still has to, that's like being in another country. You know how some people come from other countries and they send money back home to take care of the family? That has to be an agreement as well. Because I'm not going to take care of my family when my household need to be taken care of first. This whole thing, this whole 50-50 thing, we have to be on so many, well, I put it like this, we have to agree and disagree at the same time, especially when it comes to our finances. So if I know, if I knew now what I knew back then, ain't that what folks say? What do they say?
That's what they say now. But if I would have known now if I would have known, how does it
back then?
If I would have knew back then what I know now, it is. If I would have knew back then what I know now, I would have done,
Yeah, oh, definitely. So when I come to this relationship, am I letting the man that I'm with know that, I still take care of my parents financially, and so or he still takes care of his ex-wife?
Uh-oh.
financially.
Right. What those obligations are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my past obligations, I'm bringing that to the relationship.
Yeah.
Financially, because I have seen men, and I'm not making this stuff up. You
I
would
know
believe
you ain't.
I see men take care of their current family, and she
Mm-hmm.
is just, well, as long as he's taking care of this house, I'm fine. But he's also taking care of the former house
Mm-hmm.
because he has kids by the woman, so he's
And
taking
he
care of
feels
that house.
obligated. Yep.
He feel obligated, and I've seen it happen. That he's the ex-wife has never had to work.
Mm.
Period.
Well.
He's already in a relationship, his new marriage, and he's trying to take care of that. But he's taking, sir, I think you have worked yourself. That's probably why you're almost dead.
Hey, probably why they dying so early.
Yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
trying to do all of this. So even, and of course, the new wife don't know. But however,
Right.
because she feels as long as
Yeah.
long as he's maintaining my lifestyle, but she got to work. Some
Oh
of
yeah.
the new
Absolutely.
wives have to work, and he's not telling her that he's
That
still
the old ex-wife ain't working. She ain't working. The old ex-wife.
exactly. But
You know, Carolyn. You know, I was when you were talking. I mean, I had so many thoughts come to my mind. But one of the things is, in general, I don't know what's the future's gonna hold. You know, we may see a whole another 30, 40 years from now, the whole landscape of relationships and marriage may change. But I believe that one of the reasons why, especially in the black community, that relationships in terms of marriage, the numbers or percentages are so low, is because I'll say hypergamy. You don't typically see, not to say that we don't see it, right? Because we do, but you don't typically see in large numbers, even on an anecdotal stage, platform, or arena, where the majority of the relationships, the woman is the breadwinner, and the man is just kind of coming along. He might contribute 20% of his income to the home. We don't typically see that because we still have the influence of the traditional culture where women do expect men to you got to be, especially if she's talking about getting married, and I ain't mad at it. I'm all for it. I'm on board. He either's got to be on her level financially, where she's at, or above. And you hear that a lot, and I don't have a problem with it. That's why I said, once again, I said it at the beginning, I think that to a great degree, men haven't adapted well to the current environment. We haven't, over the years, the last 50 years, we just haven't really adapted well. And I can't necessarily say all the reasons why that's the case. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that over the last 40, 50, 55 years, a lot of single parent homes have raised men, and there hasn't been the proper amount of manly influence to where we've kind of lost what the identity of a man really looks like nowadays. And so when a woman has that expectation, I don't think that's asking for too much. Especially when you're talking about a lifelong, lifetime commitment. And I think a lot of women are stressed out because they have been carrying the load, especially financially, a long time. And I think that level of stress, that level of having to do everything, I think a lot of women still today are to a great degree, are feeling that pressure. Taking care of kids, having to work, having to provide the bulk of the financial load. I mean, yeah, it's,
well,
and I don't know.
Me. No, some women may be in the boat. And I know some women that are one parent households, as such as myself, where we're the only breadwinner.
Yeah.
It's not a try. We have to make it work.
You have to.
On former money from ex-husbands or deceased husbands or inheritance from parents or anything like that. We're we're making it work with what we have. And since my husband been deceased, I have had 2 and 3 jobs at one time. In order to make, I had told God, I said, look now, if I'm in this position, you're gonna have to help me make it work. I don't want to be no prostitute. I don't want to be no drug dealer. I don't want to do none of those things. So
you can't do that, Carol. You can't do that.
Me in a position to where I'm able to take care of my household and run it like I know that it should be ran.
Yeah.
Save money for college. Save money for first cars. Save money for, whatever. Even if it's to pay for weddings. Because eventually I pay for weddings. I have 4 daughters.
Right. You got to do it all.
I'm going to do it all. So, it's by the grace of God that he has allowed me to do some of these things. He has allowed me. None of my girls are married yet. I hope they listen. My son is not married yet. I only have one son. But, and I want to be able to give them that first start. I've already did, they've all had the first car. Some of them had 3 cars at my expense. The first house. And I'm waiting to get, put in one. And I have given of myself and I have lacked myself. I have
to make sure
mom doesn't lack. If don't nobody had new clothes, the kids do. I still got clothes 15 years old, and I can say, because you know why? Because I have to think about the head of the household, even though the male is not there or whatever. I still have to think the head of the household, financially, spiritually, socially, mentally,
everything.
And yes, the anxiety is at an all-time high. Like, yes, you can take this load off. Yes, I mean, and then it does stuff to you, physically, your health wise, because you think, oh my God, I can't do this. But and as I tell kids, when we still fat, ain't no meal been missed.
Ain't no meals missed.
Right. I done had some car issues, but that's it. I still got to work.
Right.
I did whatever it takes, and I do whatever it takes, and I did whatever it takes to be where I am. I'm nowhere near. I'm not even 25% of where I thought I would be at this age or at this time in my life.
Yes.
But I'm there. And so if the Mister, and I ain't talking about the Mister from The Color Purple, but if the Mister do come along, I don't know how that's going to happen. I don't know if we're going to be on the 50-50 mentality or 100-0 mentality. I don't know what, but we have to have a whole big conversation from the heart before we combine together. Because it's a lot. It's a lot, and I don't want him to feel that he's being overwhelmed with my baggage. Yes, we bring baggage financially, emotionally, spiritually. All that stuff. And then a lot of times our baggage is the baggage we carry for other people. We're still, like I said, I know a woman that's taking care of her parents, and her parents work. She pays their note to the house. So if she's giving a note to the house, does he know about it? Does the husband know about it? Oh, he's trying to bring that 50. He's bringing his 50. She's supposed to be bringing her 50, or she can't bring her 50. He bringing his 50 because her 50 is on the parents, in the parents' house. It's so much. I mean, when they say bring everything to the table, lay it on the table, we have to bring it all to the table. No hidden agendas, none of these things. Nothing. Not that she has a shopping fetish and he don't know anything about it because she got to buy the clothes and hide them because she don't want him to know he got it. She got a bonus. If she got $1,000 bonus, he should know about the $1,000 bonus. And I know where even my father would tell me, you have your account, you have him account, and then y'all have an account. Okay. But y'all account better be 50% of her check and 50% of his check if there's a check.
I will say that I think, for me, for the most part, I think I like the way things are in our modern days. And I'm going to tell you why. I like that women are able to find their purpose and able to pursue God's desire, God's plan for their life in terms of being able to have that the opportunity to go out into the workforce and to become whatever. Okay. I like that, right? I like that. I know some people will say they don't, but I like that. Okay. Because that really does create, I think, not just an environment, but a world where we can receive all the gifts that are in women and the contributions that they can bring to our life and our society. I love that.
Definitely.
The thing that I wonder is if the mindset is still there, that in terms of how the relationship forms financially, that the expectation is still that a man should be a primary provider. That's the part where I go back to, like I said, again, to one of the things I originally said is I think men in general,
haven't adapted.
They haven't adapted. They haven't adapted because I don't think it's fair to ask a woman to adjust her lifestyle down.
Well, to be with you. Fair, then? That's I guess that's where I'm lost. What is fair?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, Carolyn, if you know what your lifestyle is now,
yes,
right now, if you got a guy come along and he just bringing $20,000 a year to the relationship, I'm just saying that he's talking about marriage and wanting to marry you, and I mean, you carrying the load of what you're doing. It gets to a point where then he got bad credit. He only makes $20,000 a year. He got bad credit. He's not very financially responsible. He might be the nicest guy in the world.
Okay.
He might support you. He might be a Christian man and all the above.
Okay.
But in a way, he's economically a liability.
Okay. Ooh, well, it's a lot to that. Am I for him, or am I about his money? Because if I'm about his money, then that six-figure person that you're talking about, where it's only maybe 1 in 1,000,
right?
And all the other 999 women are trying to get to.
That's true. They try to get them too.
What is it that what am I going to do? Am I going to be with him because he's financially, he's at a low status?
That becomes the big question that women. I mean, I don't know if I've heard a standard answer. I hear answers that vary all the way from here over to here on that question when it comes to women. And I don't know. That's where I also would go back to something I originally said and tagged on to men haven't adapted well, is I don't know if women have really expressed verbally very well what their needs and their wants are, so that men even really know, because it seems to be men think, this is what we think. We think that all women want the six-figure guy. And so a lot of men think that they're not able to meet those standards.
But you said the word need. Are we helping each other meet our need? Like I said,
I don't think men really know what women's needs and wants are. That's one of the reasons why I say I don't think we've adapted well. Because I don't think we really even know.
There's no hierarchy, and run with it.
I don't think men have adapted to the current way things are now to even really, really know. I really, really question that, if men really, really know, based on how things are now in our modern society, what those needs of women are.
Well, if I'm the man, I'm gonna ask her what are your needs?
Yeah. But you know what you're gonna get when you ask that question to a woman.
Don't be superficial.
You better just go ahead. Right, you better get your pad out, get ready to write it down, because
don't be superficial. We're going to be in this relationship past 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years.
Well, marriage, you're talking about hopefully lifetime.
Is that yes? So don't be superficial. When you met him and you driving a 95 Toyota, and you meet him and he bring you up to a 2025 Toyota, come on now, you on the come up.
I'm gonna give you a prime example of why I said I really don't think that women have verbally expressed it very well. Because women say, well, I want a man that communicates well. But when you start asking a woman what she wants and what she needs, I don't think it necessarily comes out to really articulate what's really, because men have a way of verbally saying things that gets confusing and convoluted. Okay. And same thing with women. And I'm going to give you a prime example of that, what I'm talking about. So you're here, because we hear it, it's common. We hear women saying, I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't need a man. Right? I got my own. They'll say, I got my own. I know what I bring to the table. They'll say that, right? But then when you start diving into asking questions and really start peeling back the layers of that statement, right? Then you'll start seeing that she does want a provider male, especially when you start asking questions like, well, how much do you want to have to work to pay any significant bills after you're pregnant with your children? She'll say, no, I don't want to have to work. But wait a minute, but you just said you're a strong, independent woman. You don't need a man. You got your own. But if you're going to not work when you have children,
you got to have somebody to provide.
Somebody's got, that means you need somebody to provide. And here's the other one. Then when you start asking, well, how much of the overall financial load of the family do you want to carry for the lifetime of this marriage? And then they'll be saying like 20, 30%. So I think that it gets lost in translation in how it gets verbally communicated, so that men really understand what women are saying when they say things like that. Because for us, we're hearing it and we're taking it in through the filter of a man, and then we digesting it through all these layers of manhood, of masculinity, you know what I'm saying? And then we're interpreting it through all of this masculinity, and it comes to us like, she don't need a man. That's all we heard in the whole thing.
But you're hearing it, but that's not real logic. That's not real life. But she's in it because she's kind of been, pushed to say it. Well, girl, yes, you don't need him, and this and that and the other and all this kind of stuff. But she really does. And what is her verbiage of what need is?
Yes.
That's the whole thing that you hearing it. The thing when you did that analysis you just did, it just made me think: is he adjustable though? Is he the type of man that can adjust to what her need is? Is he adjustable?
I think if men knew what she needed, because here's the thing: here's the thing. If you got a man that wants to marry you and he's into you, he's trying to get this done, right? He's trying to get it done. So basically, this how simple we become at that point. We be like, man, this woman fine. I want her. He want to lock her down. He want her to be exclusively heels. All this, that, and the third. So at this point, he's just like, what you want? You can ask him for anything.
Yeah.
And he be just like, whatever you want. He like, whatever you like.
Yeah. And then, and I heard Lauryn Hill say this, and I'm taking it, Sister Lauryn Hill, when she was talking about love, and most of I've seen either through the Facebook or my kids probably showed it to me or something, but I listened to it over and over and over and over and over again. Yeah, we talk about, I don't need a man and all this kind of stuff, and he don't need me, and I don't need a woman, all this other stuff. Well, when we do find out, when we stop bumping our head against the wall and find out we do need someone or want or desire someone, that eventually that's love, where the love meets. And so she said, the saying that she said was, you're in love. I'm in love with everything that he could do for me, everything she could do for me, all those types of things. Mm-hmm. When her words came out, it says, we're only in love till that person stops stimulating us. When they stop stimulating us, buying us Prada or buying us a new car every year or living in a home, that probably was their stimulation of what they thought was love superficially, of I'm this and I'm that, or a status and a title, and he's this and she's that, and vice versa, even if it's men. But once that person stops stimulating me emotionally, physically, financially,
absolutely,
doing all these things, I don't have no more desire for them. I no longer need them. That's where they go.
Absolutely.
Because they're not stimulated by that person any longer.
Yes.
Whether he makes 20,000 and she make 100,000, somewhere the stimulation was there, and all she needed or wanted was him. But then
Yes.
somewhere something triggered and said, you know what, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of Jay Blow. He won't get a
Absolutely.
job
Yeah.
and he won't,
Yeah.
this and that, because maybe something happened where Jay Blow lost his job in the economy of COVID, or maybe Jane lost her job in in COVID. But sometimes the money ain't there when the heart
Yeah.
was in the
Yeah.
first place.
Yeah. And
So
this, like I said, I was going to talk a lot about how I felt, a lot of it. I feel this way. You open up my mind to something. This is why I say I think the women need to become better at really truly communicating what their needs and wants are. And here's another example of that. It's so that the bulk of it's statistically shown that the bulk of divorces, like 70 to 80% of them, are initiated by women, right?
Okay.
And I think what you just said is so very accurate and true. That at some point she begins not to be stimulated anymore. However you worded that, you worded it so well, and it becomes a breakdown in the relationship, in the marriage, and
Reconcilable differences.
right. And then a lot of men, we so simple minded. Forgive me for saying it that way. Is we be like, "What you mean I don't love you? I go to work."
Yes. And 90%
right?
of them say that I work, don't I?
Right, I go to work, don't I?
You still being
I bring the check home, don't I? Right. So, so I think that a lot of it has to do with, this huge break in communication and really, really knowing what each other want.
Desire.
Yeah. And if we can begin to get better at communicating our expectations and our desires up front, because to have a relationship break down because those necessary things like what's your credit like, what's your net worth, all those necessary conversations is like, do we really have them before we get into this covenant and this legally binding situation?
Or I say what I think you want me to say.
Yes.
Say what
yes.
you want me to say. Oh well, I cook 5 days a week, and I do this and that and the other. And child, once next, you on ramen noodles and chicken and a biscuit and all this kind of stuff, and is it still there? What we talk about for all of this, will this go on for the rest of our marriage life, or what is going to go on? Or does he get get complacent and she gets complacent?
Right.
What? Yeah. Put
now,
it on
I still have
lay it on the table.
Please lay it all on the table. I personally have like a old school traditional mindset. Because I'm from that time and era when most of my dad, most of the men that I was around that had any type of influence in my life, they were all traditional provider men. So I believe, and I structure my life even currently now where I can pay all my bills. So if by chance a woman did come into my life, she ain't got to come here and pay the mortgage, pay the lights. All that's done. I got all of that. So that's not a need that I have. But so many men nowadays in this modern society, I think one of the problems is in their minds, they're thinking that they can't meet the financial standard that they believe are hearing, because we got social media and all these other outlets that's influencing the minds of people. I think that's one of the problems. A lot of men feel like they can't meet the financial standards and requirements, perceived financial requirements of women. And I think, honestly, I really think that a lot of women are just doing like men. They are expressing their best case scenario, things when they're saying, well, they would want this, want that. In reality, when they do connect with somebody, chances are he's probably not going to be half of that stuff, or most of that stuff. It's just like a guy saying, well, what car would you like to drive? We ask him, what car would you like to drive? A Bugatti,
sell Bugatti.
Aston Martin, or you know what I'm saying? Or, can he afford that? No. But that's just best case scenario. That's not literally mean that I ain't gonna drive nothing unless I could drive Aston Martin. No. And I don't think women are saying that either. I ain't gonna marry nothing. I ain't gonna be in a relationship with nobody unless he got this much money, unless he is this tall, I don't really think that's the case, but it just, to men, when we run it through our filters, once again, we start hearing something and maybe, filtering it through our man mind and start feeling like, well, this is what women want. They want 6'6". They want 6-pack abs, 6 feet tall plus and 6 figures plus, and that might be what's being said, but in reality,
Disney fooled them. I said that before. Disney tricked them, as they say. You've been tricked.
Yeah.
What's say tall, lean, and all this, tall, dark, and handsome, and all this stuff.
Yeah,
it's whatever.
But I do believe, like I said, that in a great degree. Yeah, I do believe that a lot of men are falling behind because they've been taken care of by women, including their mothers, their grandmamas, their big mamas, and then they've had relationships with women where they've done the same. And now you got a whole population of men out here. Oh God, I can't say that on live, but
I'll say it for you. I know a whole bunch of punks. I know a whole bunch of them, and I tell God, look, don't let none of them walk my way. Don't let them do side eye me. Don't let them ask me for a number. Don't let you, if you know they ain't right, please don't. I don't know, no. And I said all that to say this: some women have conditioned them, males, to not want to be the actual provider.
Yeah,
they'll take her money as their money.
They'll take
her level of being a provider as saying they're doing it, but you're not. I know right now. I know some people personally in my own surroundings, and I'm just looking at them like, this is so backwards. But then I look at her and say, look, you made him that way. That's why
you sure did.
20 years and won't marry you.
You sure did.
That's why.
You sure did.
That's why. Because you do everything for him. Absolute. Besides wash his butt. And if you had a chance, you probably do that too. If he But some of them are programmed and they're that way. Well, and some, and I'll just say it like this. Now, men, I don't care if y'all don't like me. You don't know me. But even if you did, so what? Some of them get to the point where they say, she got a house, so I have shelter.
Facts.
So I have food. The bills won't get cut off because she got kids here. So we didn't even switch roles because she took that role upon herself, knowing he didn't have a job. She took that role upon herself, knowing that he had no future whatsoever, but she thought she would try to ingrain something in him.
Yep.
And then as soon as she say to him, look, nigga, this
get a job. Oh Lord, did you say that?
You got Lord. Switch up on him because she's tired of being that head of the household. She's tired of saying, well, you know what? I thought by now, after 10 years, you would have had it together by now. I thought by 5 years you would have had it together by now, but she put up with it so long. She did it so long. They both became accustomed to what was going on. So if it ain't broke, they don't want to get it fixed. So now one of your friends that ain't got no man said, girl, how long you going to sit there and let him do that? And you finally said, that light bulb said, you know what? We've been together for 5 years and he ain't never had a job. We've been together for 10 years and he ain't never had a job.
Now here's where, like you say, sisters, here it go. But here's where it goes left. Is now you got a woman, she's been with a guy like that in a long-term relationship, and then she flew around and have a baby or two with the dude. Then all of a sudden you want to level up. Well, that other guy that's over here that really got his stuff together,
talking in her ear,
But I'm talking about if there's a guy that's really, really, really got his stuff together, and now all of a sudden you want to leave Henry
Right.
divorce him, or maybe y'all got married, whatever the case may be, but he ain't really been about much. And now you want to go over here and get that dude that's really got himself together. I'm talking about he's ambitious. He's really, really productive, successful. He's competitive out in the marketplace, workplace. This guy's looking like, wait a minute, that's Henry's kids.
Right, that too.
Now you want me to take care of Henry's kids? He a bum. He ain't have nothing. You wasn't even happy with him. I ain't taking care of Henry's kids.
But some of them do. Some of them do take care of Henry's kids because they want her.
Not the kind of guy I'm talking about. They ain't doing it in masses. Not in masses. Not in no large capacities. Not them next level guys.
No. Well, no, not all.
It might be a few, but it ain't in masses. It ain't in large masses.
So, because really, you taking on Henry's baggage too.
Right, because you taking on Henry's baggage too. Because Henry ain't gone nowhere. Henry's still in the picture.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that men don't do it, but in large numbers, I'm talking about them kind of guys. I'm talking about them up there.
Mm-hmm.
Them dudes.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, really doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And not in mass. They ain't doing it.
I see it though.
Yeah.
I thank God we don't tell names on this mug. But
thank you. I know that's right there. No names. Because I've seen it too, but it's not in mass. The numbers are pretty low.
Or how do you do that? But when I'm thinking about this one particular, how can you stay in a relationship with a woman and have children by her? You don't attribute absolutely nothing but your physical being there.
Right.
I remember taking this
right.
psychology class, and she put out there in it, yeah, I'm a bear, my bear. I never forget. Everybody know who the psychology teacher was over there. She was just awesome. But she put in perspectives, and she said, and this is when like those little, what's it, Nintendo, whatever they came out.
Oh yeah.
They first came out. She said, would you rather have a man in the house that even he doesn't work and he plays video games all day long, really doesn't help with the kids, he's not contributing financially to the household, or would you rather not have a man there at all? Which one would be best? No. He ain't gonna sit there and be playing no Nintendo and running my light bill that I'm paying because he's not 50-50. He's just there.
He ain't even a 50-50, right? He's just there.
He's just there. And she's, according to her statistics, and I'm not a statistical person, Brother James, I know that you are, it would be better for that male to be in the household doing absolutely nothing. Because he probably came from that. Mama took care of him. Grandmama took care of him. Now the woman in my life is taking care of me, but I'm physically there. Then for the household to not have a man in the picture. And she said it would be better for the man to be there. He's just physically there. And I don't think he's kill a spider or nothing like that, but he's there. And I get that out of my mind. I've never gotten that out of my mind over the years. And when I've been approached by men and saying this, and that, and the other, whether he was a church boy or whether he was, a regular Joe Blow or whatever,
right.
No, I kill a spider myself, or I go pay for an exterminator. I didn't, I could do all that stuff, but she simply said, yes, it's still better for that male to be there. I guess that's his 50-50. He bringing himself.
I guess.
To the table. But I said all to this, if sometimes deprogram themselves or not try to do what the Joneses do or not try to be social media. Everybody's not a Kardashian.
That's
Everybody's not a basketball player or a rapper
or a Russell Wilson and Ciara.
Exactly. Even if your name is Russell, you still ain't him.
Right. Thank you.
So, or Ciara, however the situation go. But a lot of times we bring these situations upon ourselves as saying that I have to live up to her standards or be able to carry her standards or his standards or whatever. Or yes, I want to live in a, if we go get a relationship, I want a Bugatti. Like I said, you got to know how to spell it. I want to
Man, right.
Aston Martin. You got to know where it came.
Right.
Why are you asking for something? Why are you so superficial? Or one of the kids say, why are you becoming brand new now that you met Michael? Now you becoming brand new. Now you're putting yourself up here when you really still
down here. Right. Right.
Or some of my I'm from the hood, Pearson Hood, from the gutter. But now you want to come up here and live in a 5-bedroom mansion with a bunk and 3 bathrooms.
I think in general, men need to really, I think we need to begin to get really focused on our purpose.
Okay.
Because I find it difficult, if not impossible, to say that you're really going to be a leader and a protector or any of those things in a marriage if you're not actually connecting with a woman and bringing her into the path and the journey and the purpose of what you're on. How can you truly, you know what I'm saying? How can you truly say you're going to be a leader spiritually or any of that stuff if you don't even really know what God's purpose for your life is as a man? So I really think that men need to begin to really level up, step it up, however you want to say it, and really begin to put our purpose first and really pursuing what God's plan is for our life so that we can truly, truly be the men in our communities that are leaders, the men on our jobs, the men just in our churches, just in general, where we can truly redeem what the quality of a man looks like.
Quality, yes.
What the character of a man looks like. Yes. Because I honestly, this is just, once again, I say this whole podcast show has been about feelings. I ain't been putting on the statistics or none of that. I honestly feel like that a lot of women are just dissatisfied with the quality of men as we are presenting ourselves in general. Because, oh Jesus, I said it though, didn't I? I already said it, so I put it out there. So I might as well just go on and stay with it. But I really think that they're dissatisfied and not finding those qualities in men. I think a lot of it has to do with some of those values that we say are old and outdated. They are still attractive, and a provider man is still attractive. I heard that somebody said that a study was done. I want to say it was Stefan Speaks. I believe it was him that said there was a study done, and they showed women, a certain group of women, they showed them 2 pictures. The pictures of a real muscular, masculine, in shape, fit man. Mm-hmm. And then they showed them a picture of a man with a dad bod. And they asked them which one would they want to have, like just intimate relations with. They naturally, most of them picked the fit man. But then when they asked them about marriage, most of them picked the dad bod man.
They're going to eat.
Right, because they know that with him comes stability, security, all of those things that are necessary to make a successful marriage. Okay. So men, I challenge men. What I'm doing is I'm challenging, and hopefully this video will challenge men that, look, maybe there is a population of women out there that will say, well, this is a modern day, I don't want a man to do everything for me. I want a 50-50 relationship. But I challenge you men to question that, because that may be working, and whatever parameters that particular relationship. Some people, they make it work. What works for you works for you. Okay. Don't change up what's working for you if you're in a relationship and it's working just because of something I'm saying or Carol is saying in this video. But in generally speaking, I think that to a great degree, that after a while, if you are not progressively improving yourself as a man and progressively really becoming the best version of yourself as a man and constantly being about your purpose and being on the path that God has for your life in terms of what your goals and what your passions, what your purpose is, I think that it will last, but only for a while, and it will become problematic if you are a man and you are not constantly what's the word I'm looking for? Constantly demonstrating that you are a leader. I think it will become problematic, and I think that's one of the problems in the environment that we are in now with the modern day, because a lot of men want to put it all on the women and say their standards and requirements are delusional, this, that, and the third, Disney movies, and I won't even dispute that, because we do see it. Yet, challenging men, I'm saying as a man, I think we really need to pull our britches up, become men, and become leaders, and set the standard, and begin to really, really be about our purpose. I mean, it's going to be hard to try to say you want to lead a woman in a marriage, and then when you say, well, how does she fit into your life and your purpose? You don't even know what your doggone purpose is. So that's all I'm saying. Carolyn, before we wrap this up, you want to drop some more, because I feel like you will slap us. You spoke it. Hey man, come on now. That we needed to hear that. I think men really need to hear from women how we're missing the standard and the requirements. And that's why I wanted to challenge men in this video. I mean, like I say, a 50-50 relationship might work, this, that, and the third. I'm not saying to each his own. But overall and generally speaking, brothers, we got to step it up. But anyway, this been a good one. But we got to go. I gotta go. So we out. We out.